Hi, how would you like to have 6 steps that can help you attain a higher consciousness and make it easy? Hi, my name is Dr. Fred DiDomenico, and I am the author of You're More Powerful Than You Think and the founder of the online program that is in this amazing university, You Are More Powerful. And the way this came about and the way this developed was really a lifelong of spiritual experiences and really desire to know my higher self. And I remember early in childhood, I was about 7 years old, and I was raised in a Italian immigrant home. And I remember seeing my grandfather on the porch in his guinea white tee with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth with a long ash, and my grandmother yelling Italian at him through the window. And I remember thinking, looking at him sitting in the chair on the porch, and thinking, God, I wonder what's going through his mind. He was probably in his mid 70s, thinking, I wonder how he feels about his life. And I was 7 years old. And right at that moment, I remember it like it was yesterday. I said, when I'm sitting in that chair, I want the world to be different because I lived. And of course, then I went around and played. And eventually I found my purpose, and that was as a chiropractor. So I started in chiropractic, and I noticed, I had 4 practices in 15 years, but through that time, I had the purpose to be able to teach people a natural way of healthcare. And I believe that we are a spirit in a human body. And when the spine and nervous system is the foundation of health and life in the body, we can stay healthy naturally, that we can reach our potential. And that was my purpose, was to bring a healthier message to healthcare and help people be great in their lives. And my patients would continually say, wow, you're always so happy and positive and inspired. You're so lucky that you know what your life purpose is. And I would kind of feel bad for them. I'm like, wow, I became aware that most people don't know what their sole purpose is, why they are here in this life. And so then later, after 15 years of practice, I started coaching chiropractors. And I'd always been on the spiritual evolution that I want to know who God created me to be. I want to fulfill that purpose. I want to get rid of all my limitations so I can be the best that I can be to help serve others. Then anyway, I married my second wife, and she ended up being diagnosed with breast cancer, and she went through chemo radiation, and that didn't really work. Metastasized all over her body. It didn't really work at all. And about 3 weeks before her passing, she sat in the bathtub, and we were planning her service. It was actually a life celebration. And all of a sudden she started bawling. I mean, sobbing, not just crying or tearing, man. She was sobbing. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, I don't know if I did what I came here to do. In other words, she didn't know if she fulfilled her purpose. And it was so sad. And the overwhelm that I felt at that moment, I can't put into words, the level of sadness. On the other hand, I knew I was living my purpose. And then a very loud voice in my head with so much conviction in every cell of my body said, I don't ever want anybody in my life to ever say that again. So after she passed, I began, or I would say accelerated, this spiritual journey. I wanted to know myself. I wanted to help people find their soul purpose. And even more importantly, I wanted to get rid of all my limitations and be the best person I could be, so I could find the most amazing woman, have the most amazing marriage, and we could make a difference in the world together. And so what I found through many spiritual authors, it's kind of like an IKEA diagram, an exploded view of the diagram. And that's what spirituality felt like to me. You have Neil Donald Walsh, Conversation with God, and Deepak Chopra, and Marianne Williamson, and all these people, and Eckhart Tolle, with all these things, and they're all great. But most people, including myself, didn't know how to put them together. And so one day I was actually praying, and I was trying to come up with a 6-step acronym for a chiropractic rehab program, and the word healed fell upon me, the acronym HEALED. And all of a sudden I started getting these visions. I went, wow, this is an emotional, spiritual healing program. And then I thought, this is it. This is how I help people find their soul, SOUL purpose, why they're here in this life. And I had no idea what it was going to be. And I started writing this book, but I had no idea what to write. And so I would pray and I would meditate, and I had to live the process of healed. And in this book, You Are More Powerful Than You Think. It helps you take the 18-inch journey. from your mind, the longest, shortest journey of our life, yet the most significant journey of our life, from our mind back to our spirit, back to our heart, back to who we really are, who we're created to be, why we are here, so we can fulfill that purpose. And going through this book, it took me 9 years. I had to rewrite it several times, but I had to live through this process to write it. I became such a more clear version of myself. Wow, I learned how to love myself. I learned how to release my past. I learned how to see how all the pain in my past really was guiding me to my soul purpose, and how I could find the gift and let it go, how I could come into presence, how I could hear the innate divinity within me guide me toward my soul purpose, and how to deliver it toward the world, to the world. So I began coaching chiropractors, and I found that people are only successful in their life as they are as a person. And so I started bringing all these spiritual principles into the chiropractic doctors. I helped them were building their teams and building their offices. And I noticed, man, they started to explode. Their businesses exploded. But more importantly, in spite of the fact that many people became millionaires, they all said it wasn't the money. Their marriage is better. They speak to their kids differently. Their relationship with their family and old relationships have healed. They have strong core values. They have more confidence and inner peace, that when they see a vision and they set a goal, they're able to attain it much more easily. That they became a more clear version of themselves. I've had addicts that rehab couldn't help, that quit. We've had people that went through decades, years and years and years of traditional psychological counseling. In 40 minutes, we take them through an exercise that's in these videos, and they clear and they change their life. So it's impacted the lives of hundreds and hundreds of people from all over. Now, what is healed? What is the acronym? Well, H, honor God within yourself. What's that mean? You can actually tap into the divinity within yourself and actually feel like you are a divine being before your humanity, living a human experience. Then once you add that, E, exercise loving yourself and others. And you get to experience love, a God level love for yourself, and how to exercise that with other people and bring more love into your life that's already there that you may not even be aware of. Then once you love yourself, accept forgiveness for yourself and others. Man, forgiveness is easy when you can get rid of the shame and the guilt, and you love yourself at a higher level. Going through the forgiveness process where you can see how everything in your life, every pain gave you a gift that is leading you toward why you're here in this life. Then you can get rid of all that emotional noise, come into present time consciousness, so you can hear the divine whispers and divine guidance that have always been guiding you, to trust your intuition, to move from your mind to your heart, to learn to live from your heart. So now your heart guides your thoughts rather than your mind trying to protect and live in fear in your heart. God, it's the other way around. It's such a more empowered life. And then the spiritual principles to deliver it to the world. That's the 6 steps. If you just follow the steps, just follow the steps, you'll raise your consciousness. And then when you go through it again, you're going through it with a new consciousness. Then you raise it again, and then again, and then again. This is a system that you just don't go through once. It's not a book or a video that you go through once. This is a map. It's like a treasure chest to coming into consciousness of your own divinity. Your whole life will transform. Your whole identity will transform. Everything outside of you transforms when inside of you becomes so clear to who you really are, always have been, and are created to be. So there's like 35, 36 videos. We have a PDF, truly transformational. Stay connected. We'll be doing lives, and certainly go like the You Are More Powerful Than You Think Facebook group. Ask to join in there, and let's move together. This is a time in the world where we really can create heaven on earth, where old things are passing, new things are coming together. And as we raise our consciousness together through this healed system and through this university, that, man, we can make a difference that can not only enlighten ourselves, but we can enlighten others. So thank you for moving with us together. I look forward to all of our transformation. Thanks.